Hello everyone, my name is Daisy and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be starting an artist diary series where I document the process of illustrating my very first children's novel that I am currently writing. I am so excited to start this journey, and at the same time I am so nervous. To start this series out, I am going to start by practicing my storybook art style, and I also want to try and attempt to do a first draft of the house that my main characters will live in. If you would like to follow along on my journey to illustrate my children's novel, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos in this series. Now, without further ado, let's get started. As I mentioned, I am so excited and at the same time so nervous to start this project. I have been playing with the idea of illustrating children's stories for a long time, and finally decided to just start and learn as I go. I began writing my story last October and already have fallen in love with the characters. The story is loosely based off of memories from my childhood and the adventures that childhood brings. As you know, this video marks the first step towards the illustrating process of my children's book. And honestly, this part is much more daunting than the actual writing of the book. I played with so many different ideas of art styles. Originally, I was thinking I would stick with my main medium, acrylics, but eventually I decided that it wouldn't be whimsical enough and wouldn't best represent the characters and place that I was writing about. So, here we are, practicing my storybook art style using a mixed media of watercolor and colored pencil. I eventually might play around with adding a few more forms of media, such as pastels or acrylic paint markers, but for this video I decided to keep it simple. I really love the way mixed media gives a picture so much character and whimsy, and it also leaves room to add as many enchanting alterations as I please in the future. Creating this first draft of my main character, Penelope Puddleby's house, was so exciting. I remember writing this scene, describing it, and I desperately want the illustrations to capture the warmth and beauty of the home that I envisioned. As a fun little sneak peek, I will read you an excerpt from my story where I first described the Puddleby home. On the outside, it was a peculiar house. While half of it appeared normal, with walls, a chimney, green shutters, and glass window panes, the other half of the house was built into the trunk of a rather large tree. Peeking out from behind the tree bark, one can make out tiny little windows looking into Mrs. Puddleby's kitchen, as well as a door to the cellar just below the tree's roots. At first glance, you might notice what appeared to be regular shelf mushrooms growing on a tree, but if you were paying very close attention, you would see that they actually served as a staircase leading up to the attic space at the top of the house. Peculiar though it may be, upon entering the new Puddleby home, one was immediately swarmed with good smells, warmth from the fire, echoes of laughter, and a pantry filled top to bottom with jams, pickles, cheeses, and bread. After I finished my first draft of the Puddlebee's home, I decided to do a quick sketch page of picnic items using the same style of storybook art. The reason for this is because very quickly into the story, the kittens go on a picnic, as well as the fact that a picnic fits the general aesthetic of my children's book. Mrs. Puddleby is often in the kitchen baking pies, serving tea, and giving her kittens yummy treats. And I wanted to experiment with drawing those types of items using the storybook art style. So, for your enjoyment, here is another excerpt from my story regarding the food and drink that the kittens were bringing on their picnic. Mrs. Puddleby was packing many of the fine cheeses, breads, and canned goods into a picnic basket. The kittens were planning to take their picnic basket out to the prairie by their new house for afternoon tea. Mrs. Puddleby carefully selected each kitten's favorite spread to put on their slice of toast. Penelope liked strawberry jam, Jasper preferred the peach jam, and both Clyde and Louisa May loved blueberry preserves. She packed them carefully at the bottom of the basket and then layered the cheeses, breads, and a plate full of chocolate chip cookies on top. The kittens had been planning this picnic excursion for weeks now, and Mrs. Puddleby found great delight in helping make their day together a little extra special by packing their food herself. As she worked, her kittens watched her with big eyes and growling stomachs, eager to be on their way. As they waited, they fairly divided what they needed to carry amongst the four of them. Penelope waited patiently to take the picnic basket from her mother. Jasper carried a jug of milk to share, Clyde carried the cups, and Louisa May proudly held the family picnic blanket. So that concludes my first episode of learning how to illustrate my children's novel. I'm so excited to continue on in this journey, and I hope that you follow along and see the progress that I make. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos in this series. And if you liked this video, please give it a like and comment below any advice or encouragement you have for me as I embark on this new adventure. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.